Hi, welcome to episode 12 of the Dorm Room Sports Podcast. My name is Garrett Thompson, and I have lots to talk about. First of all, though, I am going to talk about basketball. Not hockey, basketball. I'm going to give this a shot because I watched Game 6 last night, and I figured this would be as good a game as any to give this one a go. Now, obviously, as everybody knows, I don't know basketball as well as hockey, but I've been watching a lot of it, and I've started to understand it more, so I'm going to give this one a shot. So, first of all, wow. That was a game. That was a game and a half. Holy smoke. I promise you that all of the neighbors on my floor heard me yelling at the television. I was losing my mind over every single play, every single three we hit. Kawhi Leonard, when he blocked it, when he got the rebound, the defensive rebound, goes back down and shoots the three. I lost my mind. And then at the end of the game, when Kawhi Leonard passes it to Van Vliet, then passes it to Lowry, and Lowry goes for the three, I was so upset. I was livid. I was livid because in my opinion, and I messaged this to a couple of my friends, why didn't Leonard just shoot it? I thought Leonard could have shot it. I thought he had an open lane. I could be wrong. In my opinion though, I thought he could have just shot the two. We would have had a 1-point lead and we could have just defended it out because we had I think there was 4 seconds on the clock at that point. 4 or 5 seconds on the clock at that point left. All he had to do was hit the two. Or what could have happened probably is he could have hit the lane, maybe not gotten the two, but have gotten to go to the line, right? So, but we're not going to get to that because I screamed about it. I was mad, but it's people keep in mind, and I reminded myself of this. We're still ahead. We had a chance to win it. I think in some cases people thought, oh, the Warriors are going to roll over and let us have it. They said this so many times during the game and during all the timeouts during halftime. They're a championship team. They've won it back to back. They're trying to go for 3 in a row. That's not going to happen. Knock on wood. But honestly, I think in some cases that showed that look, they're not going away. We could have won the game, of course, but I think that even though they're fighting for their lives and they're fighting to stay in this, and they won one battle, we're going back to their home turf to get a chance at winning it there instead of here, which would be just as good, obviously. But I think that in some cases we were automatically assuming we would win the game, and the Warriors came out and they were hitting every three. The lanes were wide open. During the first quarter, at least during the first quarter, almost first half, basically the Warriors were uncontested from three. During the third and fourth quarter, though, I thought we got way better defensively. I don't know what was said in the room, but we came out. Everybody just stepped it up even more. Ibaka, Van Vliet, everybody was just losing it. Leonard just had an all-star game again. Kevin Durant, okay, this is what I wanted to talk about. This was a big point for me. They rushed him. They rushed him back. It's obvious. Look, think about it. What happened? Look what happened. He's in the first quarter. You watch the video. There's videos all over the Instagram, all over the internet of his leg just popping, his Achilles. I think it was the Achilles. They rushed him. They were all like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna be back for Game 5. He's gonna be back for Game 5." You don't rush an injury like that, especially in basketball when it's in any sport really. You don't rush an injury. You don't rush any injury, let alone a leg injury. They rushed him too much. It was so unfair. So unfair. Everybody was booing him, going off, and then eventually they stopped and clapped for him. Because the Raptors are "What are you doing? Don't clap an injury." It was they rushed him, and I feel terrible for him because he's a really good player. Yeah, I get it, we're all against the Warriors, but he's a good player, and you don't want to see that. We wouldn't want them to be bashing one of our guys if that happened. If they did that to Kawhi Leonard, or if anybody on our team got injured like that, and they did that to us, we would have lost our minds. And then we did it to him. We stopped, of course. Like we were like some people were like booing him, whatever, because he got the injury, clapping away. Stopped, and then did like the normal like injury walk off, like normal respectful clap that we should. But like we shouldn't have even done that in the first place. Anyways, they rushed him, and it was so unfair. He's done. He's going to be done for the rest of the playoffs. They're not going to have one of their key guys. You look at the bench after he went off again. Look at like Curry. Curry's got a towel over his head. He's crushed. I bet you every single player thinks and is like almost, I would say, not offended, but like really upset that like they rushed one of their top guys. They did not respect Durant at all in this whole process. They rushed him and rushed him and rushed him and rushed him. You don't rush an injury. You don't rush an injury like that. You don't rush an injury in the finals. He shouldn't have played tonight. He should have been done for the playoffs. But they said, you know what? We're fighting for our lives. We don't care if he's in. We don't care if he's really, really, really testing the injury. In the interview, they were like, "Oh, he was cleared to play. He was cleared to play. That was a rushed clear. That wasn't an actual clear." I bet you the doctors told him he couldn't play, but the Warriors are telling the media, and they're really messing around the story because he shouldn't have played, and it showed, and they got bitten for it. And it was not fair. Of course, DeMarcus Cousins came in and had a ridiculous game off the bench in the first quarter after Durant went out. Cousins came in and hit 7 points within the first 5 minutes of him being on. But that was it was incredibly unfair for him. 106-105 was the final score. It stung because we had it. It stung because we were in the lead. I know like everybody was like, "Oh my god, we have like it's 103-107. We're okay. We're going to be like we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going." 2 minutes left, it was 103-107 or 103-97 for the Raps. Now, everyone was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." 2 minutes is forever in basketball. It is forever. It's like literally Klay Thompson comes back down, quiets everyone. Curry comes back, tie game. Yeah, Curry came. No, it would have been Curry to 100, Thompson to tie it. Yes, okay. That lined it up more. 2 minutes left. People were like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god." Relax. It was 2 minutes left. That's forever in basketball. 2 minutes is the equivalent of probably 5 minutes in hockey. A lot can happen. A lot can happen in hockey, and obviously a lot can happen in basketball. That was probably one of the most exciting games of basketball I've ever watched. That was the same kind of emotion we had like Game 7 against Philadelphia. It was just I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Some of those calls were obviously really, really sketchy. We weren't getting a lot of calls. Like, you watch that game, everybody was like, the announcers were all like watching it. Matt was like watching the game. You're all watching it, and they're like, "That's a foul. That's a foul. That's a foul. That's a foul." Like, the reffing was like, I'm not gonna blame it on the reffing because we had our points where we could have easily just put it away, but we didn't have those. We didn't take advantage of those chances. But this team, what they've done for the city already, like, you watch, there's so many, like, what they've done, like, and one thing I love too was the crowd was never out of it. We were down 14 at one point. Crowd was still standing. That's big. That's important. We're not the Warriors fans where we get all cry and leave when you're down by 10. No, we were down by 14 and nobody lost hope. Everybody was up. Everybody was jumping. We're going to go into Oakland on Thursday with just as many fans as we had in Game 4. I would hope so. Everybody watch it on TV. Canada better have the Raptors game on television. There's going to be no hockey on, so you have no excuse. You have no excuse to be watching anything else. Canada's going to have the Raps game on. Of course, if you don't, like, I'm not obviously pressuring people, but at the same time I am. Watch the Raptors game because I know I will be. I know a lot of people will be. We're going to go into Oakland and we're going to give it. We're going to full send in that game. It's just like we have, and the one thing that the reason why like I think everybody, like obviously everybody was jumping and nervous, but you watch the Raptors bench and they said it a couple times in the game. Everybody's calm. That whole bench is calm. Everybody's like, oh, like Kawhi Leonard's super like not emotional. We need that. We need somebody to keep everybody just leveled out. Spicy P, calm. Kyle Lowry, ridiculous, calm. Van Vliet hits a 3. Everybody's going mental, calm. Norm Powell with a ridiculous dunk. He's got the tough face, but he's still like, it's his business. You got to get the job done, right? And Nick Nurse, I think it was, they were at a timeout and they mentioned Nick Nurse, or like the boys made a general like agreement. You're not satisfied till you have 4 wins. They had 3. You're not satisfied till you have 4. I don't care how like. And then I like looking at that. It's great because you're like, you don't have 4 wins yet. You're not satisfied till you have 4 wins. And even in each game where you have a chance to get the 4th win, you're not satisfied until you're ahead of the other team and the clock is all zeros. That's the only time when you will be properly satisfied. You will have 4 wins, which is great. Let it rip. We the North. And let's talk about some hockey now. Raptors, like I try to give it my best shot. I'm not huge knowledgeable in basketball. I love it. I want to follow it more. I think this year coming up as well, I'm going to try and follow it more because it's crazy sport to watch and talk about. Like I've followed the Raptors, but I've never been like following the Raptors, and I want to do that a lot more this year, I think. So anyways, to hockey, I've got game 5 and game 6 to talk about briefly in about 7 minutes. So here we go. I'm going to give her my shot. So game 5 in Boston, we're going to cut right to the point. The tripping. Now, as much as I don't like, well, I'm not going to say I don't like Boston, but I'm not the biggest fan of Boston. But in that case, that was a trip. You watch it slow motion. You watch it a couple of times. Boston fans can watch it as many times as you want. He was reaching for the puck. It was in motion. It was all that. That's no excuse. That should have still been a call. But Boston fans, now you know how it feels when Marchand slew-foots people and nobody gets called for it. Now you know how it feels. You could all go, oh, but it's all hockey. No, when Marchand slew-foots people and they trip and go down, or when he makes a dirty low bridge hit and that doesn't get called, you people are like, oh, it's part of hockey. We all lose our minds and then you all make fun of us. That happens, and now you lose your minds acting like, oh, blah, 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 that should have been a penalty. Yes, it should have been a penalty, but you don't even need to go there. We can all back up. Marchand made dirty plays like that. The minute it happens to you guys, you act like it's never happened before. So don't even go there. That should have been a penalty, yes. Marchand slew-footed Hyman. Marchand slew-footed has slew-footed people over his entire career. And a lot of them didn't get called. You guys can get upset about the play all you want. I will agree with you that it should have been a call, but it wasn't. Big whoop. You're going to game 7 now, obviously. Everybody knows this now. I'm behind on this, but that should have been a call, yes. But the Bruins are not even slightly out of the woods in terms of not being guilty for making dirty plays like that. And it's not just Marchand. Char gets away with everything. And Bergeron is just a stand-up human being who I can't even get mad at. And everyone's like, oh, why don't you chirp Bergeron? Bergeron's a stand-up human being, and I've never seen him make a dirty play. You can try to find a dirty play if you want, but I've never seen Bergeron make a super dirty play. He's just a stand-up guy and doesn't get into that kind of stuff. Like, there was a scrum in game 7, and everybody was trying to, like, push everybody around. Bergeron was pulling guys out of the pile, making sure everybody was okay. Like, I can't even get mad at Bergeron ever. He's one of my favorite guys on that. He's probably one of my he's a top 10 favorite hockey player for me personally. And yeah, but Marchand, like they're not even like they're not out of like hypocritical to be really mad at that play. Anyways, game 6. That stung because I really wanted to see St. Louis win it. A lot of Canadian boys, they deserve it. Jordan Binnington, that second goal where it bounced in, that's like the interviewer, that was funny, there was a clip online, and the reporter asked him what happened on the goal, and he was like, did you see it? And he's like, yep. Like, did it bounce in? Yep. Good eye. Or something like along those lines. I can't quote it exactly, but like the guys, I say this all the time. The guy's stone cold. He's a positive guy. He's positive. He's a good player. He doesn't get rattled. He was rattled, but like, he had a good game. That wasn't on him at all. Honestly, I don't even think it was on St. Louis. St. Louis played really well in that game. Tuukka Rask just decided to build a wall, and they just couldn't put it by him. The one goal that they scored had to be reviewed. It was a couple of bad bounces and a couple of good shots and a power play. Like that like Binnington had no chance on most of those goals, and the bounce, it was just tough. Like, say, oh, he was expecting it. Oh, he should have made the save. We all let those in. It's a team effort. Don't blame it on anybody. Go into Game 7 on Wednesday. Everyone's like, oh, it's Boston, but St. Louis has won in Boston multiple times. They can do it. They can do it again. I think they have as good a chance to win the Cup as they would at home. Absolutely. I'm rooting for them. I put it on Twitter. Dorm Sports. I think that they can do it. And hopefully Thursday when I record a podcast, not here, but I will be recording one somewhere else, I will say, like, no matter the outcome, St. Louis has had an incredible season. I think that they have as good a chance to win the Cup, and even if in some situation they don't, there should not be one negative opinion in anybody's mind in hockey world about how amazing they've played this year. That next year, if they get some good pieces, if they better keep Binnington. I swear, if they trade away Binnington or make him their backup, come on. Like, no offense to Jake Allen. Jake Allen's a great goalie, but Binnington is just out of his mind. Out of his mind. I think he's played better than Murray did when Murray came in too. Murray's still a great goalie, no disrespect to him, but I think in some cases Binnington passed him for the Binnington holds a record for rookie goalie playoff wins, I think, or it's something along that line. But to sum that up, I think that it's going to be a hell of a Game 7, though. I hope I can watch that whole game. I might get home a bit late, but I'm going to be trying to watch as much of that game as possible. And I think, honestly, the game's going to be it's going to be a whirlwind. It's going to go right down to the wire. And if it goes to overtime, which I wouldn't be surprised, I don't think it's going to be a score right away kind of thing. I think it would be right until the end. I think it's going to be a very either late overtime or maybe even double overtime game if it goes to overtime at all. That's going to make it even more intense for everybody. And I'm looking forward to that game. So thank you guys very much for watching and now listening because my camera cut out. But click like if you liked it. Click subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much.